excuse the horrible angle. I am driving myself to work today, so I thought I would share what it's like driving myself to work. Usually driving is not a big issue for a lot of people. It was never a big issue for me until Caleb's accident. And it wasn't an issue right after the fact because I was fine. I could drive. Everything was good. It's probably about 6 to 8 months after it happened that it started with feeling like I was going to pass out to going as bad as we had to get rid of our car, and because I could not get in that car without remembering that night, which is, I'm told, is normal for anxiety, but I don't know. Anyway, again, horrible angle. Not that matters, but see, my anxiety is already starting to, so I wanted to show what it was like, or what it is like when I drive. Due to scheduling difficulties today, I had to drive myself, which is, again, it's fine. It's 13 minutes for me to get to work, so this might be a long video. You can skip to the end if you want. I'm just going to discuss how I feel as I'm going, because I usually sing. You just don't want to hear me sing. So, you'll hear Taylor Swift in the background. She is my anxiety music. I always liked Taylor Swift. I was never a big Swiftie. But for some reason, when I have to drive or my anxiety gets really high and I can't control it, I start to play her music. And it's become such a big part of my healing that there's a quote from one of her songs on his headstone. So this is all about one of the many things that has changed, and that now I have to try to live with because of a stupid accident that could have been prevented. If people gave more of a shit about their friends. Let's put it that way. We'll get into that probably at another time. So, I have with me, I'm at a stop sign, so excuse my fat face. I have with me my trusty anxiety meds, my Ativan, just in case I need it, because you never know. I should actually make sure I have some in there, good, because sometimes I use them and I forget to put them in there. I bought a fidget ring just because it helps, and I have my water because that's a trick that my husband showed me, and it really, really works, especially when I start to feel like things are getting a little out of hand, like right now. Excuse me 1 second. I also have my husband on speed dial because the first time this happened, I was driving myself to work, and I had to pull over on the highway because I thought I was going to pass out. It was bad. It was really, really bad. I had no idea what was going on. Just everything started to go tunnel vision, and I almost blacked out. So I had to pull the car over, and I called him in a panic, and he's like, sounds like you have anxiety, you need to go see the doctor, and I did. And then that went on to, I know I'm talking a lot, but it's the only thing that went into a 3-month-long ordeal of trying to find the right medication to help. So I'm on citalopram in the morning, and I take Zopiclone at night to sleep, and I have my Ativan for when I need it. It's getting really warm in here, sorry. So yeah, this is one of the many things that I now am dealing with since his accident. And it's not explainable because it was a single vehicle accident. He didn't run into anybody else. Nobody ran into him. But now this is... Alright, sorry guys, I have to take out of here because and I'm only 2 minutes away from my house. Sorry. Okay. I'm not going to talk about the accident anymore right now. I'm just going to focus on telling you how I feel as I try to get to work. This is why I don't drive very often. Sorry, I'm trying to let the ambient dissolve. Because when I have this kind of a morning, it stays with me the rest of the day. And I hate taking the Ativan. I try to work through it. And sometimes I can't. And this is why I don't drive very much, like as little as I possibly can. But when schedules don't allow it, and I only work half a day on Friday, I put my big girl panties on, and I at least try. For the horrible angle. I worked really hard at this gym. Yeah, so I fluctuate between really hot and really cold. I start to get really lightheaded. My arms get really weak. That's why I take the Ativan. Just pissed off now that I had to do that because the last time I drove to work and there was no issues, there was no problems. Everything was fine. I was actually surprised with how fine everything was, and I really thought that meant things were gonna be okay with the driving, because I miss driving. I miss that sense of I can just go whenever I want to go. It's not like that now. And I know my husband, like, he just worries sometimes because if I have to go home from work early, which I have had to do in the past, if he's busy and can't get away from work, then he can't come get me, and he feels bad, and I don't want him to feel bad. I don't want him to feel pressured that he has to always be on hand, but he does. And I've had my dad come get me, I've had my daughters come get me, and it's kind of, it makes me feel bad that I can't control it. It makes me feel bad that I'm now, it's like roles have reversed. I was always the one that they could rely on, that would rescue them, that would come get them, that would do whatever they needed. And now I feel like I have to rely on them. And that's a lot of pressure pressure on them, and they're all going through their own things right now because of Caleb's death. Like, they're still trying to cope with it. They lost their baby brother. They lost their best friend. So I hate putting all of this extra pressure on them. But I don't know what else. I don't know what else to do. I try, and it sounds like an excuse. Even to me, it sounds like an excuse, but I try my best to get through everyday life with as little drama or issues or problems for other people. Doesn't always work. Oh, that's a great big truck stop in the middle of the highway. That's always nice. Yeah, so I'm almost at work, which is good. I have to take Advan, which fucking pisses me off so bad. Alright, you can pull over there, that's fine. But again, sometimes there's nothing, my hands are tied, and I'd love to say it doesn't help, but it does. And I don't know if that's just a placebo effect, because it's only like 0.5, it's not a high dose of Advan, but what we've learned, there's ice on the back of my truck. What we've learned when I was going through all the different medications, and I think we tried 5 before we found one that I could actually take. I'm very, I have a very low tolerance for this medications, so that's why we're not changing it, although I don't feel like it's really working as well anymore. I'm hesitant to change anything because of everything. I was off work for 3.5 months. Half of it is on me in my house because of the medications. So, anyway. Fuck, man, I hate this. And God love my husband. We had just purchased a brand new car, 3 weeks before the accident. We had it a year, and we took it back, traded it in for a truck, because since I couldn't drive the car, and I loved that car, it was beautiful. It's the first time I ever got to go into a dealership and say, I want this, and I want this color, and I want this interior. It was my dream car. So we took it back, and we got a truck, just a mid-sized truck, because my husband thought that it would help make me feel safer driving. It doesn't. It's a nice truck, but I do miss my car. It was beautiful. But the car, again, reminded me so much of that night that I just couldn't even... I could look at it. It was a very pretty lawn ornament in my yard. So we got a mid-sized truck. And there's days, like I said, there's days when I can drive and everything is great. And then there's other days when I'm like, what the fuck, man? So I'm almost at work. Which is good. It took me a little bit longer than I would like to get here. But I'm here. Hating everything about this morning. What can you do? There's nothing I can do. It's either I take the Ativan or I pull over on the side of the road and cry, which I have done. I have done that with the Ativan, so don't get me wrong. But this is a... Turn my front camera on so I can park this monster without hitting anybody or anything. This is what it's like for me to try to get to work on my own. This this is a normal, I'm going to drive myself to work experience.